before we go to your website, let me just tell you something funny from yesterday. So I had sent you an email request quite late in the process. Normally, I send my guests the same questions to be answered, and I'll figure out how to use those. And I don't know why. Sometimes I forget, and I need to have a better process for sending it automatically 3 or 4 weeks out. And my wife's going to help me with that kind of stuff. And so I send it 2 days out. And I try to be really careful. I don't want to say please respond as soon as possible, because my failure to plan does not, doesn't constitute an emergency on your part. But then I'm listening to your Coffee and Hustle podcast, and it's your new series, the Power Series, I think, right?
Power Circle. Yes.
Power Circle.
Well, we call it the Power Talk, but we've not decided anything with power in it. It's basically what we're saying yes to. Power Talk, Power Circle, Power Girls, Power Women.
Well, and I realized that, so you guys were talking about boundaries, and it was hey, I silenced my phone at 8 p.m. and you're that's really good for you, and you had one of you had made a comment, if your friend calls you and is hey, I need to talk, and it's probably going to be an hour long, what do you do? And the one friend's no. Or the one other lady, might
have been Lori.
Lori was well, no. I just tell them, sorry, I don't have time, or I have to set boundaries. And I immediately started feeling bad. Well, here's Carla, where I've just sent her this email, and I've asked her whatever else you have going on in life, you're busy. We're all busy, and now I've in my failure to plan, I've just said, hey, I really need you to turn this around. And I was about to write to you and just be you know what, forget it.
Just wing it.
Well, yeah, I don't need you. I don't need your answers.
We'll just
I'm
wing
sorry.
it.
I just listened to your podcast, and I feel bad that I even asked.
No, I don't feel bad. No, I mean, I knew it was coming up, and I was okay, how do I prepare for this? Listen, I don't know about you, but I talk to myself, well, not out loud, but I've been preparing, because I'm thinking, when we first initially talked a while back, right, we did talk about setting up and doing a podcast together, and, spreading it out a little bit. And I thought, what have I got to offer? You know what I mean? What is it that makes me different than other people? And because it's just such an honor that you asked me to even come on today, because I'm okay, what are we going to talk about? I'm pretty, the Power Circle Power Talk that I did with Lori and Maria really is just an eye-opening experience, because those thoughts and theories that goes ramping through your head is things that, I think some of us all think about a little bit, and we get so busy sometimes and we become robotic. And so how do you set up things that make you happy? And I think that's where a lot of change is happening for me right now, is figuring it out. I was so busy trying to be a mom and trying to run my business. I'm busier now with my business now that my kids are all gone. They're all out in college, and
sure.
I'm putting more hours in, and I'm thinking, why? Why am I doing this to myself? And so, but I can't stop. It's it's almost an addiction. Everybody, I'm addicted to my work. I love it. And so I can't say there's times where I need a break, but I don't know anything different. So I'm learning to putting a stop on certain things.
Well, this is what Lisa and I just talked about in episode 60. She commented on, her superpower is the fact that she never stops, she never quits, she never gives up. She's not going to be outworked, is basically hers. No one's going to outwork her. And so she was picking up her son from daycare. She was that parent that was always 20 minutes late, 30 minutes late. I don't know if they fined people at that time. She didn't talk about that, and then she went back to work and took her boy, single parent. And so we were talking about how, there are opportunities, I guess, where people who are entrepreneurs can set their schedule and they can work when they want to work, and that's fine. But I think the point she was trying to make was, depending on what your level of success is or where you really want to take your business, that may be a fantasy. That's not a reality, because you are going to have to put in a lot of hours and a lot of effort and a lot of work. And I believe you even mentioned that it's easy to give up, but it's harder just to keep going, right? But
Yeah.
and whatever, every business is different, of course, and it's not to say everybody has to make a ton of money or whatever the measure of success is, but at the same time, it require a lot of effort and a lot of time on someone's part, and most likely on the founder's part. This is your thing. I'm not sure if that's something that you're going to achieve where you want to, 9 to 5. And now you have your kids out of the house, and that's cool. You're a different stage of life, and you can put more time. And maybe it's not 9 to 5, but over the course of 7 days and all the hours in each day, and you can still go to the gym, you can still do things you want, but you're also putting a lot of time and attention to Design by Carla. Accurate?
Yeah. Well, I've learned to put. I'm doing more for myself a little bit more than I used to.
Mm-hmm.
And going back to that, what you were just saying is that when we talk about hard work, right? No one loves your business more than yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you're the owner of it, no one has the passion and drive more than the owner. It is a very hard. I mean, when I think about 22 years of the official Design by Carla, I think back before that, I was side hustling and doing websites before that. You know what I mean? Before I officially quit my corporate job to just actually stay home and, with twins, I had twin babies, boy and girl, and then an older little girl at the time. And remote work was unheard of.
Mm-hmm.
Having an office at your home was not normal. And so I think that the reason why I can say I bend the rules of my hours is that I tried having office space, last year, but I felt more anxiety trying to get there, trying to fit that model where that model didn't fit me. And so I am not an office space. I do have people that work for me that are remote, and I'm okay with that because it gives them the freedom to go and do what they want to as long as they achieve their success. My job now is to figure out where my focus needs to be at more, because I don't want to be anything and everything when it comes to marketing.
Yeah.
I don't really necessarily like that particular term so much. I think that we're thrown into that kitchen sink because that's just what people are used to, right? We use it because that's a term that marketing, the word marketing. But I do think that we have to figure out where our focus is and where our drive is. And so I have actually sat down and really refocused on what I would like to do with my business more. And so there's going to be some things that are going to change a little bit more this coming year. And I'm looking at my calendar more and spending more time taking some days off. I am taking Saturdays off. I'm taking Sundays off where I wasn't before. I was always over preparing myself, always rethinking.
You said recently you took your first vacation, a real vacation you had taken in like 5 or 6 years.
Yes.
Yeah, you had busied yourself enough, and you had some good stuff going on with your property and your house and all that. But at the same time, you just get embroiled in these kind of commitments, right? And it kind of snowballs. And you're like, well, wait a minute, I just need some time to recharge.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't realize that. I guess in some ways or another, I didn't take time out. I was always making an excuse on not taking time off. And so this year, it's all about rediscovering what I like and what I want to do, and taking my calendar and forecasting, hey, I'm going to take these days off, and forcing myself to do it. Even during December, I've never taken the holiday off, and I actually took 3 weeks off, no meetings.
Good for you.
I worked half a day, and I took some time off to refigure out what makes me tick a little bit more, so that I'm in tune to what my clients' needs are, and so it was it's time for a new leaf for me. I think I deserve that. I've been in it long enough to say I can do that now.
Yeah.